No Earl ain't on no stinking schedule because I don't like to act like a bitch at the forts or the, Hello Man Air Force Base, side of Alamogordo, right? A bunch of hello people that are in the white sandbox where they think shitting all over the human race makes them the top peckerwood on the pussy plantation, right? I was sitting in there shooting hoops and dancing to the music and shooting, getting my shots up, my peaches in the basket, right? And during Help Me by Joni Mitchell, it finally hit me, these war god pimps, right? That little fucker who fronted on me at Fiesta or Fry's Food and Drug, came in the store, when he walked around all the time, cocky with his gun on his hip because he taught people to kill people for profession at Fort Huachuca. He had the audacity to come in and tell me he keeps me safe from other people that want to kill me, knowing damn well if you do your research on me, right? Knowing damn well, okay, about getting counted coup on all those times from the people on the Colville Indian Reservation, because I wouldn't let them tear up, trash an apartment, stood up all by myself, wouldn't drink booze because my dad told me no, and I wasn't going to disrespect my father, wasn't going to get beat into getting drunk or let people tear up a house because they were drunk, stand up to drunks and make them have common sense of their ancestors and say, you're brave, and I'll come out and count coup on me. That was when I was like 14 years old, right? If Spencer J. Kimball and Ezra Taft Benson and Gordon B. Hinckley didn't show you the evidence, then you don't have the evidence you need to protect children from your ego, bitch, and your sidearm, right? So this fucker has this audacity to front on me and tell me my religious beliefs are selfish, knowing damn well, okay, about when me jumping over Chris after criticizing my teammates for being selfish, okay? He knew that young man at 15 jumped over 64 inches in the air because he didn't want to let his teammates and his coaches down, because he wanted them to play unselfishly so we could all get the job done that we worked hard for, to show love and respect for a possible profession that could care for our families and get them out of harm's way in metroplexes that kill them with toxins. And my dad just got through working at Alcoa for 2 years, okay? And chemical poisoning that kills most men that stay in that job, right? Fucking little asshole. And that other little prick, you're an idealist and you get people killed. You're a professional that mass murders people in Arabia through bad science projects for petroleum products from their death and decay. And you had the audacity to come front on me at a job where I have to be a yes man to pay bills, to feed my kids and keep my wife at home from being fucked by that professional assassin who tells me my religious beliefs are selfish because he wants the talents that are only made available to me, okay? He knew how fast I was at Mayfield High School. He knew Dan Salinoa set all those picks on me and laughed, and him and his cousin had to set moving picks on me to beat me at a basketball game by only like 2 baskets. And then laughed and said, good game afterwards. I said, if a good game, I didn't say it. But if I knew then what I know now, would have said, you want to be a professional football player, and you had to cheat to beat a 5'11", 155 pound man at a basketball game at a park. How does that make you feel? If I knew then what I know now, I would have looked that little professional assassin in the face and I would have said, you think my religious beliefs are selfish because I can stop people from sexually offending on families through a virtual presence with pervert scientists that are your business partners at your job? And because you want to be as talented as me, because you want to use it to be a professional assassin, and I won't use my talents to even hurt people at a basketball game under the rules to make more money for my bitch-ass coaches? And you know that! You knew I got in a car accident that would have caused a blood clot and severe concussion. And 99.9% of the populace, they weren't wearing a helmet. Okay? I got out with no blunt force trauma and made sure everybody else was okay. Trying to avoid the accident because two people weren't paying attention. She was on her cell phone and he was in a hurry. We were all in a hurry. I wanted to get to my son because he was getting out of school and I had to go pay our fucking insurance at Geico. Talking fucking lizards, right? Then I told my sister about it. She said, you better go get an MRI to make sure you don't have a blood clot like what happened with grandma. I went to go get it done. There was no blunt force trauma, no sign of anything. The insurance company thought I was trying to pull a scam to get money out of them. Boy, government employees insurance company, they're your best friends. How could I hook up with the lowrider lawyers and get any money off of no blunt force trauma, no injuries whatsoever? That would have had to have the rest of you go into George Clooney, Mexican George Clooney's office to talk to his great neurosurgeon, have your head cut out, root around in there, pull out that clot and sew your head back up, right? And it's wonderful, it's amazing. He says it's wonderful and amazing to do that. What's wonderful and amazing is that I can be in one of those car accidents around people that are in a hurry to pay bills and be entertained by doing it and walk away with no injuries. That's what's wonderful and amazing. And it doesn't come from Bruce Willis's acting out M. Night Shyamalan's imagination for money. That's what's wonderful, right? I think it's wonderful that I have the talents and the abilities to recover from chemical poisoning and recover from melanoma without having to be bombarded with radiation and have my body parts cut off. That I can get the pus out from the weakest point in my leg, put it out in the sun, and it goes into remission. But I can't keep it into remission because the assholes in Las Cruces that are super soldiers that think my religious beliefs are selfish because they think I get my talents from people that don't deserve to live, because they all pray to me for help and salvation from evil, right? And you know what's also really cool about it? I never use my talents ever for selfishness or for evil. I won't kill people for corporations with my talents. I wouldn't be combat controller Carl for the Air Force. I wouldn't join the Marines, and I wouldn't be an airborne ranger. But I outsexed airborne rangers that fucked around on their 8-month pregnant wives at Pope Air Force Base, and I'm the legend of that. And I didn't mean to. You know, my wife was a lesbian. She couldn't attain orgasm. I was in there for 3 hours getting frustrated as hell. Like, why doesn't she go pop? I was engaged to her cousin. At this time, her cousin would have had 5 screaming orgasms by now. The whole neighborhood would have smelled like it and heard it. And all the kids in the block would have came in there and say, I want the shampoo that she has to wash her hair. It's herbal essence, tell 2 friends. Right? And now I look and feel like Uncle Fester because you guys would rather make money off of pushing products to appear young and healthy through having the best places to live and the best products through economic conflict instead of stand up for love with me for children everywhere. So I think there's a lot of irony to it, and I'm like Rockefeller and Rothschild. I think it's funny, okay? If you really have a good sense of humor like Tupac Shakur, it's fucking hilarious that I am who I am and that you are who you are. So go write a book, Barack Obama, and go hang out in the Oval Office in your museum. You ain't never gonna be like Patrick's dad. And you don't deserve it because you don't need it, because you wouldn't use it to protect innocent children from your ego, right? You're just like Donald Trump, you're just like Joe Biden, you're just like Pope Leo, Pope Francis, Pope Benedict, and Pope John Paul. Okay, you're just like all the bitches that paraded around before you behind bulletproof glass, showing your ass for fake ass money, to have children be sexually vulnerable to people that would take advantage of them sexually, okay? All the kids that went and got abused at Catholic schools know exactly what it's like to be Billie Holiday, right? Good morning, heartache, you old gloomy side. Right? And then you don't know what my pain is like. You don't know how much I was abused and neglected and how much of a victim I am. Me, Michael Tyson, Michelle Tyson, Mike, the worst selfish murderers in the whole world were in my house before I was born, judging everything I did, not giving me any privacy to have intimacy, to have girls protect me sexually and me to protect them sexually. I did the best I could. And with the surveillance that they had, makes me feel sad for the rest. Better than James Bond, better than ever. Because I did it under the worst surveillance conditions of the most selfish people that wanted the talents that were given to me because of my faithful devotion to love over 10,000 years. And we have the documentation to prove it. I am the living word. The word becomes fresh. Every time the books are corrupted by the evil ones to do selfish, the living word comes to correct that selfishness with the proof of the truth. One more of you that send somebody in your family to get in my face from Hamas or Al-Qaeda to tell me Muhammad was the last proof and there are no other proofs and Saladin was just a man and not a messiah, okay? When I was in that crazy ass group Epkin car, right? I talked to Jesus. Jesus gave me these two pictures in my head, okay, to draw. That these pictures were very, 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 very important to the world. I don't have to plug these in here. I got this for that. Hold on. I'm gonna plug this in so you can all see them better. Okay, all the better to see you with. Okay, you wolves in sheep's clothing. Okay, there we go. Got the lights on around it. It's in a picture next to a painting that's painted through military mind screwing of Maximinian's mommy. See it right there? That one right there is Lord Saladin as a young man in Solomon's temple in Jerusalem, showing me the hands that hold the key to the shining heart eternally of King David. I just didn't draw it properly enough. It's not far enough over to the left. That is after the Pope sent people to do the Holy Crusades and what they did to Solomon's temple to try to keep commerce there, which they falsely called worship. See the tears and the blood running down his face? That's my Lord and Savior of the unholy crusades and the example of King David and King Jesus and King Muhammad during the papacy's unholy crime they called the Holy Crusades, right? Okay, that was my prayers I got in Eckankar. And Lord Saladin was not mentioned by Sri Paul Twitchell as one of the lines of the Ek Masters. Okay. The people I talked to the most in Eckankar, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, Rumi, Saladin, and a black man from Africa called Adam and his wife called Eve. I got confused. I'm like, I'm not getting into these Ek Masters. I'm not getting any of these Ek Masters. I'm doing these spiritual exercises. I'm meditating all the time, and I'm not getting any of these Ek Masters these other people talk to. Rumi talked to me much later. He said he listened to me, and I was an exquisite listener, and he knew I was going to get the job done. He's so beautiful. Because I listened to Jesus, and Jesus said, this is the one who's going to help show you the way. Okay? He's the one who in spirit is like me and John. And everybody that's a real Muslim knows it. And everybody that is a book reciter like Zakir Noak doesn't know a damn thing. If he hasn't read it, he doesn't know it. Okay, if you didn't live it, why do you think you're reading it? If you're not living it, why do you think you can read what was written down by those who are not living it? Right? Really pisses me off, man. I really like Glenn Campbell's Try a Little Kindness. Did Jimmy Reb write that one? I don't know if he did, Joe. But I'm really pissed off at you motherfuckers because it hit me full force when I was in here shooting my hoops, man. It was during Help Me by Joni Mitchell. Yeah. And I sit there and I went, fuck, that little bastard. Your religious beliefs are selfish. You think you should have the abilities to survive those kind of attacks. I don't even have to train to do a Bruce Lee flip over a couch to avoid a knife in the thigh. Okay? I don't have to train to jump 64 inches in the air over somebody contesting a shot because they're being selfish and helping on weak side defense. I don't have to train to run faster than a 4 flat 40 in a pair of basketball sneakers on grass to get where I need to go to make sure children aren't abused by raping, murdering perverts with shields held high with crosses on it, killing in the name of money for Jesus Christ from the Vatican and their banks and their public buildings of discussion of money for murder and murder for money. Right? Okay? Guys, any of these people you discuss is great and legendary. Did they ever stand up for the living of the Lord's Prayer for children to be delivered for human trafficking? Did they? I know Mike tried. That's why I'm really patient with Mike, with all the hell he went through and all the jealousy and the abuse he went through, trying to be the top dog, to always bringing the dollars and nobody front up on him, you know. But guys, no, I've had that, you know. I never really, no. I was so nice, it wasn't even funny. That's why they called me Sweet Little Jesus Boy at Fort Huachuca. Him, Sweet Little Jesus Boy. Yeah, just like Lord Saladin, like the mullahs all said. All he wants to do is study animals, protect animals from people that abuse them, and write books about how animal spirits exist through love and peace, and animals can serve human beings better when human beings don't act like animals. That's all Lord Saladin wants to do. Everybody calls him Salahuddin. I call him Saladin because that's the way he speaks to me in my language, and I speak a different language than he does, like Jesus with Jesus and Tishna and Manuelito and Barbencito and others. You know, they speak to me in my language and they don't correct me on my terms of affection for them. They just sit there, thank you, I know you know who I am, I love you too, you know. And so they're so beautiful, they're so gracious, they're so wise. You know, so when I say Datiro Suzuki's wrong, you get a lot of hypocrites from Japan. He's not saying his name right. You're not. You think he's a fucking motorcycle. Okay. Sun Yat-sen, he's not saying his name right. He is the son without sin. The spirit of Confucius. Do you have doubts? What's your Tao? Go sell something, write a book, sell me a fortune cookie. But please do it somewhere else so I don't have to look at you or talk to you. I'll send you a check by mail. Send me a kiss by wire, baby, my heart's on fire. All right, let's load this one up. Let's go into the bathroom and soak our testicles for an hour in Epsom salts and make sure we also soak the legs that we put in the sun today, because that Freon poisoning, trying to protect people from the Middle East from genocidal operations set up by military ops, you know. It ain't gonna save you from the technology killing you simultaneously. You do know that, right? Next in line, right? If I can't protect your family from you, what makes you think you can protect your family from you? Okay, the only protection you have from you is me. And you want to try to protect your family from me. And the only protection your family has from you is me. Right? Just can't wait to be king. I just can't wait to be Earl again. I can't wait to live in a world where I'm a honey-do list dad, and I get to grow my hair out again. I wake up in the morning with my hair down in my eyes and she says hi. Stumble down to the breakfast table. Kids are going off to that place they used to call the school to hang out with other kids, to exercise and share kindness. And I say bye. She takes my hand, squeezes it, and says, How you feeling, hon? Oh yes. And then I look across her smiling lips and realize I found my morning sun. And if that's not loving me, then all I've got to say, God didn't make little green apples, and it don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime. There's no such thing as Dr. Seuss and Mother Goose and no nursery rhymes. I don't have the words committed to memory. Maybe someday I will. Maybe I'll find somebody who wants to hang out with me in my basketball barn, built by people that used to be in the U.S. Army, but now use their skills to stop getting fucked and killed over paying bills. Because who's the commander of no chiefs? Because nobody wants to be chief. Because you don't need to be chief if everybody knows how to live the skills of the humility that eliminates the bills with the wisdom of faithful love and peace. Right? Don't be a disgrace. Your family needs you to love them. And if you're not capable of loving your family, guess who's protecting your family from you? And if you don't think that's happening, then you take control of quantum computing and make sure that all technology is properly intelligent enough to protect children from human beings that are not properly intelligent, right? I'm not talking about supreme intelligence, right? Intelligence is good. Intelligence is based off of faithful love through understanding truth. Okay, that's not supreme. Once I get you to understand that and you submit to that faithful love, are you supremely intelligent to your children that are now doing it and do it more simply and more intelligently than you do because they weren't addicted to killing people over money with technology to feel powerful when it's a complete delusion, right? It's good to be gracious good shepherd. It's always good to be gracious good shepherd. And you know what's good about being gracious good shepherd? When we don't compare, we don't compete, we engage each other with empathy and respect. We don't dream about being the captain of the Enterprise. We never allow ourselves to think of building starships to do battle with psychotic aliens that destroy their galaxy to come destroy ours, which makes no sense because they'd never make it here. Well, the supernova, well, you could travel real fast. You're going to travel real fast to destroy here because you destroyed there, because that's all you do is destroy, build, destroy. Yeah, Nickelodeon, did you get slimed? Okay, how much money did it cost? All right. Good song, huh? Remember when you guys mind fucked me with this one? On the way to the credit union to pay my bills in Sierra Vista? Bom, ba, bom, bom, ba, dang, da, dang, da, ding, da, ding, ding. I thought for the first time I wasn't alone. I thought for the first time people like Judah Krishnamurti, Datiro Suzuki, Haile Selassie, Sun Yat-sen were gonna meet me, talk to me, hold my hand, shake it, smile. Isn't it wonderful to be doing this? Yeah, it is. It's about time. Yes, it is. Right. Okay, I love you guys, man. I'll keep working to make sure that your kids are giving Matt Taylor his propers when he goes on the break and slams it down, right? I do these two kids. Oh, that's Jordan and that's Elijah. Okay, that's Jordan and Elijah, and that's Matt Taylor. That's my dog, man. See, Matt's right there. That's why I got so excited when Elijah got me that picture to hang up here. I go, oh my gosh, that's Matt. That's my dog. He's a tender-hearted kid who really is empathetic to people that are abused and listens to them and shows dignity and respect in his responses to their, when I talked about possibilities of tsunamis hitting the east coast of the United States as well as they did on Indonesia, and it could hit people in Florida, and he said, oh my gosh, I have people that I really dearly care about in Florida. I don't want that to happen. That would be horrible. When I talked to another man that was selfish about it, he said, well, I'm glad I don't live there. Yeah. That's why Matt Taylor's my dog. Right? Okay, I love you, all right? Peace out.